Welcome, everybody, back to the College Football Rundown podcast. I'm your host, Cooper Hamner, back at it again with Griffin Polk, Blake Holland, and Huddy Harriman. Today should be a great episode. We're going to be breaking down the top 10 games of Week 5 college football, giving you our insights and our predictions, along with the scores. And, we should see. We'll come back for another video and see if our predictions were right, but I think we all have some good predictions and maybe some hot takes, but should be a great episode, so let's get right into it.
Yeah, first game, Friday night, 6 o'clock, Florida State, Virginia. I feel like it's a trap game for Florida State. Virginia at home. Their quarterback's been playing pretty good, 1,000 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. Running the ball almost 300 yards. I feel like this is a game Virginia has a chance to win, but I do still think Florida State would come on top, but I would not be surprised if we saw Virginia lose.
Yeah, I think that for that game, I just think that their quarterback, Florida State, Castellanos, or whatever his name is, his completion ratio is honestly not too bad right now. He's still 1 pick, but I mean, his resume is pretty solid. 3-0. I like Florida State in this one, but this gonna be a tight game.
Yeah, I'd go along with what Blake said. I think Florida State may overlook them. I think their defense will hold them. I think Florida State will come out with it like two score win.
Yeah, I was gonna just say I think it's gonna be a tight game too. I think Florida State wins, but I just take the under. I think the spread's 7. Florida State, I'd take the under in that game.
All right, on to the next game, TCU and Arizona State. This is a big game for both teams. TCU had a marquee win against SMU. They also had a win against Oklahoma State, which put Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy basically out of the picture. And Arizona State, on the other hand, had a tough loss at Mississippi State, but trying to bounce back here with a ranked win and trying to, get back into the voting for the top 25. Yeah, should be a fist fight. I got TCU.
Yeah, this game, I feel like this is another good game on a Friday night. TCU, ASU. I think ASU is a really good team. I like them winning this game, upsetting TCU Friday. Playing in Arizona State after coming off a big win against Baylor. I feel like they have the power to do it, and I feel like TCU's going to lose.
Yeah, I agree. I think TCU is going to win. I think they're going to squeak out the win here. I think their passing offense has been looking very strong. I mean, quarterback with 1,000 passing yards. I mean, he is dealing back there. But I think TCU wins this game.
Yeah, TCU's going to this game full out of steam. I think they had a big one last week. I don't remember who they played. But Arizona State's still a good ball club. They lost to Mississippi State. That's their only loss off of some huge touchdown. And so I'm going to pick Arizona State. I think they're going to come out on top just because it's a home field advantage. That's a big thing in college football. So.
All right, Griffin with the upset here. All right, on to USC and Illinois. I'm not really sure about this game. A ranked matchup for both teams. Illinois, personally, I don't think should be in the top 25 after they got clobbered by Indiana, which just does not make sense. You just don't see that anymore. 63-10, losing the Big 12 like that, or Big 10. But yeah, USC had a good win, late night game against Michigan State. Wasn't able to watch that whole game, but they're 4-0. I don't really know too much about both teams, but I think Illinois can get a bounce back win here, but I'm taking a tough pick, but I think Illinois. I got Illinois in this one.
Yeah, I like this game. Illinois coming off a big loss. They're going to be mad, going to come out ahead of steam. That's something, if you're playing for USC, you're not going to see, especially an embarrassing loss. I feel like it's going to be a close game, but I just feel like USC is the better roster here. Illinois, they did not look good against Indiana, so I'm going to take USC in this game.
Yeah, I think both offenses have their strengths and weaknesses, but I think I'm not a fan of Illinois. I think they're kind of trash. I mean, losing by like 53 points to Indiana. But I mean, I think USC is going to go in there and stand on business, get a pretty big win here.
Yeah, I think USC just clobbers Illinois. I'm being completely honest. Like, it's not going to be close whatsoever. Quarterback looks like a bum. Run for 100 passes, not even passing points. And USC's quarterback has thrown for 1,200 yards, and that's insane to me. Not even 100 attempts yet. So I think USC just absolutely just destroys Illinois.
Yeah, for sure. I see where you're heading with that. All right, this game is an interesting one. You got two lost teams here, but this is a very big win. Very big game for both teams. Notre Dame, obviously, if you lose this game, you're out of the playoffs for sure, because no team, in my opinion, should make playoffs with 3 losses, and they just don't have the schedule to back it up after that. So I just think that if Notre Dame loses this game, it's over for them. So they're honestly like win or go home for the rest of the season. And Arkansas, they're just trying to honestly prove their point in the SEC. They lost to Memphis and they lost to Ole Miss in a tight one. So hopefully Taylor Green can get back to it. 4 picks so far, not looking too good, but I think they can get it together. And I think Arkansas could be, a sketchy team, but could be pretty good. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I feel like Notre Dame, they've played 2 really good teams. They played arguably the best team in college football, Miami, and they played them close, and then they played A&M really close. That was a great game. I do feel like Arkansas has the better advantage in quarterback spot, but I feel like all around Notre Dame's roster is better, and I think Notre Dame will come home and beat the Razorbacks.
Yeah, Arkansas, they have a very strong offense. I mean, they're averaging 552 yards per game. That's 8th in FBS. But, I mean, I think this will be actually a close game. Notre Dame has to win. This is a must-win for them, though. I got Notre Dame winning.
I have Arkansas winning this game. I know their defense is horrible, but I really like Taylor Green under center, and I just think C.J. Carr is not the guy for Notre Dame. Not very good in my eyes. Like I was saying, Arkansas's defense is not good, but I think their student section will back them up and help them win that game. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. SEC home really helps you. All right, on to one of the first big game, like truly big games of this segment. Auburn at A&M. I don't really know about this game. I got Auburn, but I just don't know because Auburn's coming off of a loss to Oklahoma, a tough one. It's controversial, but I just think that if they lose to Oklahoma and lose to Texas A&M, then this season could really fall apart. But it also could be flips. It could also be flipped, and the upside could be really good for them. And I just think that Auburn's just it's gonna be a tough road win for sure. Because if they lose this game, they're 0-2, and Texas A&M just came off of a bye week, and it's at home, 2:30 game. But this game could go anywhere. Obviously, there's a lot of beef after Texas A&M lost in the 4 overtime win to Auburn as they rush the field. So definitely some high stakes here. But I like Marcel Reed here, and if Concepcion can get going, I know he's not showing up on the screen, but this is really going to be a great game.
Yeah, I feel like it's a trap game for A&M. It's coming off a pretty good Auburn team, one of the better rosters we've seen in a long while. Coming off a tough loss to Oklahoma, they're going to be wanting some revenge. I feel like Jackson always better than Marcel Reed. Something about Marcel Reed just has not been clicking this year. I feel like Auburn's running game is better, and then their wide receiver core is one of the best in the country. So I have a feeling Auburn's going to go into Texas A&M and upset them.
Yeah, this game is going to be a battle. I mean, Auburn's defense has looked stellar so far, and I mean, A&M has a really good offense. Getting that Casey Conception from NC State, #1 receiver in the transfer portal, so that was big for them. But I think this will be a really close game, but I think Auburn will win in overtime.
Yeah. So last year, obviously Auburn beat Texas A&M at Jordan-Hare, fourth overtime. Over the offseason, Texas A&M in press conferences saying, "Yeah, we're obviously gonna remember that for next year. We're gonna get back, get our revenge." And so they're all fired up, ready for this game. Auburn, on the other hand, they beat them last year with a losing record, rushed the field. This new Auburn team is looking really, really good. Besides the loss last week, and I just think if they don't get fired about the Oklahoma game, then what else can fire you up? If I'm being honest, so I think Auburn wins this in a very close battle.
Yeah, for sure. All right, on to Ohio State and Washington, both undefeated teams. This is Ohio State's first road game, I believe. And Julian saying 8 touchdowns. His completion ratio is not too bad, but what really stands out to you is 3 picks already. And, Jeremiah Smith, even though he's had 20 receptions and 3 TDs, don't get me wrong, that's, amazing. But I just think that for some people, he just hasn't had the best start. But I still think he's got a lot under that belt, and I still think that he could still be a Heisman favorite this year. I just think that Washington, they're 3-0. Haven't really been the top dog in a while since Michael Penix, but yeah, I just think that Ohio State, obviously the better team, they come out on top of this one.
Yeah, I feel like Ohio State has the better roster here overall. You would think Ohio State would win this game, but the thing about Washington is they've won 22 straight games playing at home, so that could be a big factor in this game. Do I think Washington will win? Probably not, but I would not be surprised if I saw Ohio State lose to Washington this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's Ohio State. With Jeremiah Smith, obviously Heisman front runner. I think he really, really shows out this game and shows why his name is up there with all those great players at the top of the list. But I don't think Washington plays them close. Ohio State by 3 touchdowns.
I have Ohio State win this game, but I wouldn't be surprised, like Blake said, if Washington at least makes it a good game. At this point, it's just who has the better team. Washington lost a lot of key pieces over the offseason. Roster just does not look as good as Ohio State, and I think Ohio State just wins.
Yeah. All right, on to LSU and Ole Miss. This game, SEC matchup. Ole Miss, they're already their 3rd SEC matchup here. And, Ole Miss is a very slim favorite in this one. The spread is 1.5 for them. So they're, the sports books projecting them to win by about a field goal or so. The predictions are leaning toward Ole Miss, leveraging a balanced attack to edge out LSU. LSU with Garrett Nussmeier. I like him and all, but I just don't think that LSU has really shown that they are the number 4 team in the nation. They just don't check all the boxes for me. I just think that on a tight game to Clemson, now Clemson's 1-3, and they lost. And they won a close game to Florida. It just don't get me wrong, Florida's not too bad of a team, but I just think at home they should at least win more than 10 points. And yeah, I just think that Ole Miss, haven't really had a true good game yet, but I think this is their first big win in the blocks leading up to the playoffs.
Yeah, I like Ole Miss's chances here. I don't feel like LSU's as good as people think they are, having a close win against Clemson and then beating Florida. I do like LSU's defense, though. I feel like they're not a bad defense, but I do think Ole Miss is just a better team. LSU's just not very good, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a huge fan of Ole Miss. I think historically Ole Miss's offense has been potent at home. It's been very, very strong. I think that Ole Miss's offense will run LSU out, and their defense won't be able to keep up and force turnovers. And I think Ole Miss has this one in the bag.
Yeah, I agree with Otto. I think Ole Miss takes this win. LSU barely beating a crappy Clemson team who just got belted by Syracuse. Barely beat Florida at home by 10 points when DJ Lagway threw 5 interceptions. I think you should win by at least 30 points if you get 5 interceptions in one game. But on the other hand, I really like Whit Weeks at linebacker. I think he's one of the better linebackers in the nation right now. And other than that, I think Ole Miss wins by 10, 14 points.
Yeah, for sure. Even though they lost Whit Weeks in the Florida game, I still think they should beat them by at least way more. All right, on to Tennessee. Number 15, Tennessee at Mississippi State. Mississippi State are already with a big notable win against Arizona State. Now they're not ranked, but this could be another win for Mississippi State. And, I myself thought that Mississippi State and like Arkansas and Kentucky were going to be like the bottom of the pack this year for the SEC. But if Mississippi State wins this game, they're really proving themselves. And I'm honestly glad that Auburn does not have to play them this year, because this could really be, like Blake said, this is a trap game, especially for Tennessee. Lost a tough game to Georgia, but that Georgia game, that doesn't hurt their playoff chances at all. They still have a great shot to make it. It was all the things leading up to the missed kick, but yeah, I think that Tennessee's quarterback, transferring in, he's got a lot to prove still, after Nico leaving. But I think that Mississippi State gets the upset here and really shocks the world and gives them a chance of being ranked in a long, long time. So this is an interesting one.
Yeah, I feel like Tennessee, even after that Georgia game, still a top 10, top 5 team in the nation. They look really stout in that game. Mississippi State's not a bad team. They're much better than last year, but I just don't think they have the roster talent and size to play with Tennessee. I feel like Tennessee wins the game by about 14.
Yeah, I think Tennessee has looked very solid this year. I mean, if it wasn't for their little kicker missing that 30-yarder, I mean they would be 4-0 right now, borderline top 5 team. I mean, Mississippi State's good, but I just think Blake Shapen fumbles under pressure, causes a bunch of unnecessary turnovers, and yeah, I think Tennessee comes out with a win here in a hostile environment.
Yeah, I do like Mississippi State. I think they beat the spread, if anything, but I don't think they win. They could win, obviously. They beat Arizona State at home, but Arizona State's just not an SEC team. I really like Chris Brazil, at wideout for Tennessee, and then I do like Joey Aguilar transferring in. I think he's way better than Nico and a better fit for that Tennessee offense. I think Tennessee wins this game over Mississippi State.
Yep. All right, on to Oregon and Penn State. A top 15 matchup here. Oregon's ranked, actually top 10 matchup. Oregon's ranked number 6. Penn State at number 3. This is a big game. If I do believe so, this should be a whiteout game for Penn State. Me myself have witnessed a whiteout game, and it's pretty awesome, honestly. So I just think that it's the best game of the week, and Georgia and Bama could be up there, but I just think that this is just going to be the best game, probably at least honestly a top 5 game of the year. The polls have Oregon winning by 1 point, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I just think Drew Aller and the Nittany Lions are going to get this one done. It's going to be a close game, but yeah, this is going to be a really great game. I got Penn State.
Yeah, I feel it's going to be a great game. It's especially going to be tough for Oregon going into a night Penn State game. It's one of the hardest places to play at. Normally when you have a game like this, the roster is pretty much identical. They both have really good players. I'm going to go with a better quarterback, and I think Drew Allen's a better quarterback here, and he has the home field advantage.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great game. It's going to be a shootout. Penn State wideouts, hardest place to play, which will give them a big advantage. But, I mean, overall, I think Oregon does have a better roster with all that NIL money. But, yeah, Drew Aller, the experienced quarterback play, will pay off for Penn State. I think he'll make a couple of good plays and get the crowd fired up, and Penn State will wind up winning this.
I think Oregon wins. I know it's a whiteout at Penn State, but I just don't. Drew Aller just not look good to me. I watched that Nevada game. I think that's the game he threw the interception. It was an awful, awful throw. He's missed a lot of receivers. Penn State just has not proved himself with any big team yet. And I don't really think they should be ranked that high. I think they're overrated. Personally, I think Oregon wins by a good bit here and shocks the college football world by beating them by so much.
Yep. All right, on to Alabama and Georgia. This could be the SEC's best game of the weekend for sure. This is a marquee matchup, and this is really big, like implications for the playoffs. This matters a lot for Bama because if Bama loses this, they could already be out potentially. But given that these are two hard teams that they could lose to, they still could be in it, but it'll be really hard to climb out of that hole. And Georgia, this is a really big game for them because after this game, 2 weeks from now they have to go to Jordan-Hare, their hardest away SEC game of the season. Honestly, away game this season. And I like Gunnar Stockton in this one. I think Georgia gets the win, but it's gonna be a tough game. I think Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams are two great wideouts for Bama, and they could pull off the upset win there. There's no denying it, but I think that Ty Simpson is just too young and just not experienced to this Georgia crowd and this just Georgia environment. I just think that Georgia just loves to thrive in these games, and they just get the win here.
Yeah, I like Georgia here. Coming off a great win against Tennessee. They played outstanding in that game. Both teams are coming off a bye week, so that could play into it. But I like Georgia home game, nighttime, 6:30. Gunnar Stockton's been playing well. Ty Simpson's done well after a Florida State game, but I just feel like Georgia's the better team here.
Yeah, I think Georgia's defense will shut down the Alabama receivers, which has been their strong suit so far. I mean, historically, actually. But I really like Zachariah Branch on Georgia. I mean, he's a very, very solid player. I think he's going to make a bunch of big catches for Georgia. It's a hostile environment, night game. Gunnar Stockton, he needs to prove himself, and I think he will in this game. Georgia's going to win.
I like both. I think the game altering factors for both teams is how their receivers play. Bama has Jeremy Bernard. He has gone ballistic the first 3 games of the year. Yeah, I really do like Zachariah Branch, as Hudson was saying. It just comes down to how they run their routes and how if their quarterbacks can put it on the numbers or not. And I think this game is going to be really close. I think Bama has to prove themselves after that loss at Florida State. And obviously, if I'm being completely honest, I think Bama loses this game if they beat Florida State. But I think Bama wins this game just because they want to prove something at Georgia and upset Georgia.
Yeah. Hey, just adding on to what Huddy said, yeah, for sure on them. I think that they can guard the wideouts for Bama, especially KJ Bolden back there, the Florida State flip, the 5-star. I think that him and the rest of Georgia's safeties and DBs can hopefully get the job done. But, we'll see. 6:30 really plays into it. All right, back at it for the final prediction. Number 25, BYU at Coach Prime's house here, BYU barely squeaking into the top 25. They're like the last person to draw the stick, just getting in. But they had the short straw, though. Bachmeier here got 518 passing yards, 4 TDs. The completion ratio is not too good, but I like their running back here. He's got 40 carries for only 1 touchdown, but he's running the ball good. And the quarterback for Colorado, looking all right, not too good. He's got 4 touchdowns, hasn't turned over the ball yet, but I got Colorado getting their first big win of the season after losing Shadur and Travis Hunter. So we'll see. 9:15, late game.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a good game. Colorado starting off year 2-2, not how they like it, but lost to a pretty good Georgia Tech team, lost to Houston. So I feel like this is a bounce back game for them. I think they'd take home this one, playing at home, a late game. I think they take down BYU here.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, BYU is looking like one of the best teams in the nation. Believe it or not, I mean they're ranked number 1 in FBS in scoring and yards per play allowed. They also have the number 1 rushing offense. BYU's winning this.
I think BYU wins this game. Colorado is not very good. They're 2-2. I think they've already lost at home. Not sure. But if this shows you anything about their rushing game, their quarterback is leading their rushing yards. And 3 of his 4 touchdowns have come from on the ground, so I think his quarterback should be a running back, if anything. Yeah, I think BYU is just a better team. Colorado is not very good, and yeah, they're just better.
Yep. All right, well, I think personally this is the first, the best week that we've had so far in games. I don't know about y'all, but I like these games that are set up. I'm not going to be doing anything but sitting on the couch watching these games or going somewhere to eat and watch games. So nothing but games on Saturday and Sunday, Y'all have anything to add to?
Nope.
No, I'm good.
All right, well, thank y'all for watching. If y'all made it this far, make sure to go like, share, comment this, and please subscribe for more.